It's the Sittin Sportside podcast, exclusively on 1045theteam.com.
Baby, lay on back and relax.
All right, per request of Mike James, we play a little BB Rexa featuring Florida Georgia Line to start the song.
Yeah.
This is a sports podcast. It's the Sittin Sportside podcast, baby. We're back and ready to go. I feel like Levac right now. I don't usually sit down when I'm from this one mic.
I know. You feeling okay over there?
I know. I feel good. The mic is perfectly at my lips. I don't have to move.
You know what I'm feeling good about?
This is good.
Those LA Rams, baby.
Well, let's just hop right into it. And it's meant to be. Me and you might be meant to be right now because we're simpatico when it comes to our NFC West preview.
We never agree with anything.
I think we might have talked about this before, so maybe we counting each other's heads or vice versa. One of us got in the other, manipulating. I don't know, but we both really love the LA Rams. You just buried the you rose the lead. Like the lead is right there.
Oh yeah.
We didn't bury the lead. The lead's right here.
Oh yeah.
We have the LA Rams winning the NFC West. I'll let you go first.
So if you saw our fantasy football prediction that we did?
You did. Let's get some backstory here. God sends us things like give us your sleepers and then people that you don't necessarily want to draft in the pick for all positions. It was quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and that was it basically.
Everybody else went full blown.
Everyone did it. Even if they didn't write a line about it, they at least gave somebody for every single position. Mike James, on the other hand, just gives one. He gives one person.
Oh yeah, Jared Goff.
That's
telling you right now. Jared Goff is your 2018 NFL MVP.
We promised MVP predictions.
Telling you right now, I even put it there. 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns this year for Goff. Why?
5,000 yards.
One person only. Brandon Cooks, baby. Telling you right now.
Yeah, but not even Brady did that with Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
he wasn't used right in New England.
To make it that much of a prediction. Look, I was looking to pick different. No one can predict 1,800 yards and 27 touchdowns from a running back or anything like that. So I give you credit for making such a really ballsy prediction.
All right, 4,000 yards.
Well, 4,500 is fine. I'll give you that.
Cut 5.
But
cut off
man,
some.
I give you some credit here. He's probably the guy I'm worried about. "Quote unquote" worried about the most. I think it's really with the weapons around him and then how good they are defensively, especially getting dialed back on that contract now. They're just really good from top to bottom. They bring in two really good corners to help out there in the secondary as well. So I really think that this is a defense for me first. Gurley, I love Gurley. Cooks doesn't enough for me, but it's really all about Gurley for me.
Yeah. But here's the thing too. Everybody forgets they got a second-year receiver out of Eastern Illinois that's sitting out there. That kid can catch. The kid can ball, man.
Well, he's a good 3 receiver.
Cooper Kupp. I believe it is Eastern Illinois, right? I think if I remember correctly.
Look, Mike, you're looking like you don't really know what you're talking about on your Super Bowl champion pick, and you're right. Yeah. Eastern Washington.
Or
Eastern Illinois. Oh, Mike. But anyway, yeah.
Oh wait, no, wasn't it?
It's Eastern Washington.
Who's Eastern Illinois? Isn't that like whatever.
We could go on a whole tirade about Eastern Illinois. Isn't that no? It's Northern Illinois. That's where Garoppolo and Romo went. I don't know
that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving forward, though, I agree with you. And then Robert Woods is an okay guy there too, but Pharoh Cooper.
Woods is a good number 1 for that team.
Or 2.
He's not
Cooks your number 1?
Yeah.
Even though he's in the slot?
Yeah.
I think Cooks would be your number 1 receiver even though he's in the slot.
It's Eastern Illinois, by the way. Romo and Garoppolo.
Oh, it is Eastern?
Yeah.
What's Northern Illinois?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know Southern Illinois is the Salukis.
Anyway, we've gone about a couple minutes here on the podcast. We're still talking about the LA Rams, but
yeah,
there's really anything else to say about it. The 2 corners that I mentioned at the top of the podcast about that they brought in, of course, are Keeb Talib and Marcus Peters. Now, there's some head case syndrome there. They're 2 very over the top corners, but if they
that might be an understatement.
But the talent is just as good as the head case problem. Yeah. So that's what it is. If they can stay, the defense is going to be insanely good. And offensively, you have more faith in Jared Goff than I do, but I should have enough faith that I'm going to pick him as my Super Bowl champion to get in the Super Bowl. We buried the lead. We put the lead up way too. I keep saying buried the lead, but we put the lead way too ahead. Like now we already know our predictions. If you listen to the AFC podcast, and if you haven't, you go listen to that. But that makes my prediction LA over LA. Rams over Chargers. I got the LA Bowl, baby.
The only way that could be better is if the Super Bowl was in
L.A.
But it's not.
It's not. It's not. No.
It's not. No.
Okay, so but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if it was.
Where is the Super Bowl this year? Miami.
We'll fact check that. We'll get on that. We have our researchers working pretty hard in the seat chair right now. So
hey, producer that's not in there, could you look that up?
Hey, Mike. All right, don't give them inside baseball on a podcast here, man. We have 3 interns working diligently for us right now. Okay. Anyone else in this AFC West division, we're going to give you our wild cards at the end here of the podcast. But any other team from the NFC West that you like, I think Seattle's on their way down. We already know about that. I mean, look, Sherman's gone. Earl Thomas reported, but I don't really necessarily believe in Russell Wilson.
He's on the trade block.
Well, cool. He's on the trade block, but he's still there, okay, bro? Because he will be traded because this team isn't as good as they once were. The defense is officially broken up, really. There's still some pieces there, but they're gone. And offensively, you still should believe in Russell Wilson, but I don't think even he can get the team to the playoffs.
The answer is it's in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
So that's New Orleans.
Yes.
Again?
No.
That's Minnesota.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's all Atlanta.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta this year.
Okay, Atlanta. Wow.
You know, see, they shouldn't sponsor 2 stadiums because then you got to think which one's which.
They sponsor?
Yeah, they still have the Superdome.
That's still Mercedes as well?
Yeah.
No, that can't be possible.
It is.
I know. I feel like that's what it is. There's no way that's the truth. Because that would just be too much. I don't even want to say that name anymore because that's too much publicity for them. But yeah, it's in Atlanta. You haven't said anything about Seattle. I'm assuming you think the same thing I do. We'll move on to Arizona. They lost Tyrann Mathieu.
They're finishing 4th place.
They're finishing 4th place? Okay, so I think you're right. I think you really think about it. Quarterback-wise, Josh Rosen will probably be starting there by the end of the season. Would you disagree with that?
I say by week 6.
But David Johnson's back, baby, and he's going to have something to do with this. This would be a decent enough offensive team to possibly maybe make themselves noteworthy if the Rams slip a little bit. But I think defensively, they're not as good as they once were.
Are their biggest challenge.
That's what we got to get to. We got to get to San Francisco. Give me one reason why you like San Francisco.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
And I was going to say not Jimmy Garoppolo. So
really?
No, I was going to say besides Jimmy Garoppolo.
I got nothing.
Wow. So there's really nothing else. They lost Jerick McKinnon for the year, so they're going to be rolling out with
Matt Breida
and Alfred Morris as their 2 running backs. Don't love that. Pierre Garçon could be good. Marquise Goodwin could be good, but really, I don't necessarily believe in the weapons around this enough. I think that this is the Rams division by far.
Oh yeah, their only threat.
And you sleep. And I said,
and I use threat. And I would say loosely.
I would say don't sleep on Arizona though, because I feel like that David Johnson's a good.
Oh, they'll be better than.
They'll
be better than we think.
Generational,
they're not
going
to challenge.
He's a great talent. He can change that team and make them worthwhile.
They're set with Rosen. They just need to build that offense around him.
And David Johnson is like the number 1 guy you want from that.
Yeah.
You still have Fitz, baby.
For now.
I keep saying baby. Speaking of babies, let's go to the NFC South. No, Cam Newton. Whoa!
Did you just call Cam Newton a baby?
Well, it was a segue. It didn't really
let's
work.
Be serious.
It didn't really work. Okay.
The guy refused to dive after the ball in the Super Bowl, but he almost broke his neck in the preseason. The preseason.
Look, I don't know, Mike. Is this a time for a Mikey's rant?
No.
Okay.
No.
We're moving on to the NFC South. This is the team that brought 3 teams to the playoffs last year, and then has 2 Super Bowl appearances in the last 3 years. And last year, the Saints could have made it a 3rd. Of course, they lose on a pretty heartbreaking breaking play against Minnesota in the divisional round. But that being said, like I said, 3 teams made the playoffs last year. Who do you got coming in first place in the NFC South?
Saints.
This is Saints division for you?
I think
I agree with you as well. I think let's start off actually
too much Kamara
by saying that this is going to be. I don't think as tight as it was last year. I think that the Saints are going to continue to get better. Well, I'm not sure I really believe in the Panthers or Falcons to get better. I think they'll be the same.
I'm going to say 12-4 Saints, 10-6 Falcons.
We'll get to the wild cards at the end here.
8-8, 8-8 Panthers. 4-12 Buccaneers.
That's the thing. Guys. I think if you start at the bottom, the Buccaneers are for sure the last place team. I'd love to say something positive about it, but
can't do it, guys.
The parents teach you if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And there's really not much else to say about this team other than they're really not good. I don't think they're going to be that good.
No, there's no way. Unfortunately,
I'm going to find a bright spot. You want me to find a bright spot for Tampa Bay? Just
Jameis Winston suspended for 3 games. Oh wait.
I mean, obviously the receiving corps. You already know Mike Evans is going to be pretty good. I think
he's overrated.
I think OJ. Come on.
Yeah, overrated. way overrated.
I think he's maybe underrated by you right now.
If he had
calling him overrated,
if he actually had a good quarterback, he'd be okay.
They have some decent players defensively. I mean, look at Gerald McCoy, of course. Quan Alexander's pretty good. They have JPP now. So maybe there are some spots to look at and say this is a team that might have some good things. Ronald Jones, the rookie, could be a spark in that backfield.
But doesn't OJ Howard have to fight with Brate for catches there though?
Who? Yes, he does. But I think that by the end of the season, OJ Howard could be a breakout tight end candidate if you're talking strictly about fantasy. Yeah. But moving on there, you kind of already just rolled it out there. So we're gonna move on to the NFC North just a second. You already really rolled out what you have. You have Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks. The real quick thing to say about the Falcons and Panthers for me, it's all about the quarterback play. And I think that Matt Ryan is really what I'm relying on. They have a good offense for sure. They have the weapons there, same weapons. Defensively, it's the same people, Vic Beasley and all that.
If you're listening to this and he's on your fantasy and nobody's picked him, go pick up Calvin Ridley. I'm telling you.
Well, I think that you're right.
I can't believe the other night in our draft he was still there when I took him.
That's why the Falcons could be a really good team. Is because they've only gotten better, I think, throughout offense. But defensively, I don't know if I still believe in them. I feel like they've gotten... Oh, I mean, I'm not going to say... I started off by saying that I don't think the Panthers or Falcons got better enough. I think that stands. I don't think Ridley gets you to the next level that you didn't already have with Julius Jones. And
Julio.
Did I say Julius?
Former running back.
Wow.
Former Cowboys running back.
Julio. Yeah, I missaid it. Julio Jones. So, and then obviously Devontae Freeman in the backfield. I don't think they've gotten that much different. So that's why I'm kind of not there with them. I think they'll be better than the Panthers, though, because the Panthers, I think, were our team that kind of boom or bust last year. They made the playoffs, but I think this year is the year they don't. They made it 3 years ago, didn't make it 2, made it last year. I think they'll fall off a little bit more this season. Let's move on to the NFC North. You teased this in the AFC podcast that we did. Where are you thinking the Bears finish in this division?
Second. The Packers.
Wait a second. Where do you have the Vikings in the third place? How is that even possible? You're telling me Mitch Trubisky is going to lead this Bears team to a better record than the team that could have won the NFC last year and really has only gotten better at the quarterback position, and every other position really has kind of stayed the same.
I don't trust Cousins.
But you trusted Case Keenum last year?
I think that was more... I don't trust Cousins. I don't.
You love Dalvin Cook, don't you?
Yeah, but...
He's healthy.
So they say.
He's ready for week 1. Yeah, that's all I can take them is at their word.
That doesn't mean anything, though. He could be ready week 1.
I just don't know how you could put the Bears. I know Khalil Mack is a great player, but I don't understand. Like, if I asked you this a week ago, you would not have put the Bears in second place. So I don't understand. Would you have? Would you really have? I don't understand how Khalil Mack makes us a second place team.
They might be. I think they could be 9-7 and finish third. It's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's the toughest. I don't care what anybody says. It is the toughest division in football. Because every team that, even when the Bears aren't competitive record-wise, they compete. They compete. And Jordan Howard is not afraid to pop you in the mouth and run you over.
Yeah, but the last couple of years, they really didn't compete that much. Let's be honest. They had a couple of surprise wins, maybe, but
talk about playoffs.
They weren't a good team. They were a good team, Mike. This year, are they a better team? Probably. I mean, defensively, they've gotten a lot better. Not only because of who is his name? What's his name? Khalil Mack? Who's that? But obviously he makes
only the highest paid defensive player in NFL history.
Yeah, right. But they bring in Prince Amukamara. Who else do they have? And Danny Trevathan. They've had him last year. But
he's been there for a while, hasn't he?
I think it's his second year. Akeem Nicks is pretty darn good. So they really have the talent defensively, but I don't understand the hype around the offense enough. I mean, look, Mitch Trubisky is one of my quarterbacks in a 2-quarterback league. I really hope he has a great season, but I don't have a huge faith in him, and I actually don't. I'm not on the Jordan Howard train as much as you and Gaz are. I really am not.
Jordan Howard's on my dynasty league.
Fine. All right, cool.
I got him for a second rounder last year.
Offensive line wise though, they have a decent offensive line. So, look, I understand the hype that the Bears should have because they got one of the best defensive players in all of football, and their defense will be better. 7-9 is what I see them. And I think that the other two teams in this division are really good, and the Vikings should be the favorite. I don't care if you're a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. The Vikings should be and are, to me, the favorite to win this division, and I am picking them to win the division.
So you know why I think the Packers win the division? I don't know if he's wearing 88 in Green Bay, but Jimmy Graham. I don't think he's wearing 88 in Green
But
Bay.
here's the thing about Jimmy Graham. Now, look, I drafted him in one of my leagues as well, and I'm hoping that he really gets it together with Aaron Rodgers. But we know from the past, and you go to our fantasy preview, I think Goss mentioned this, that Rodgers doesn't really do well with tight ends. He really doesn't make, like, he doesn't, I don't understand it, but he really doesn't. I think Jamarco Finley maybe have the best tight end year of anybody on the team, but even he had some bad years subsequently than that. So I don't know what to think about Aaron Rodgers in the tight end thing.
Rodgers is laughing at you on the wall over there.
It says fragile on there. Someone wrote fragile. I mean,
but he's smirking at you, Eric. He's disappointed.
But look, who are you going to? You have a huge faith in Geronimo Allison as your number 3 now?
Geronimo.
Because he's your number 3. Yeah. Before you had Jordy Nelson, you had Devontae Adams in the slot like last year. I mean, I know Adams' really big year was last year when Jordy was out for the majority of the season. Yeah. But how much faith do you have in this wide receiver core? Jimmy Graham, I agree with you, but where is it from Jimmy, like from other tight ends, that to really make you say, all right, nothing more than a red zone target for Aaron Rodgers? Is that too much? Is that too little?
Yeah, but think about this.
Is that too little? Am I expecting too little from this?
But here's the thing. I traded for Jimmy Graham last year in my Dynasty League. And to me, I do not care as a tight end how many yards you get. As long
as you get touchdowns.
As long as you're catching touchdowns, that's fine. I'll take 6 points every time you catch the ball for all I care.
Mike, sorry to burst your bubble here, but this isn't fantasy. This is real life. You want to get guys who can get yards over the middle and be a good third down target. So if he doesn't become a good third down target for this team, who are you going? I mean, I know he's still Aaron Rodgers. That's why I have them in second place in this division, and you can find out if I have them as a wildcard team later in the podcast. But look, I firmly believe that the Vikings are the team to be here. Aaron Jones, I think, is the best running back on this team when he comes back from the 2-game suspension. But the defense is better to you. What do you think? Mo Wilkerson?
Definitely helps.
What about the loss of cornerbacks? We didn't even mention Tremaine for the Jets when we talked about them, but they bring in Tremont. They brought in Tremont Williams.
Didn't we get Tremaine Johnson from the Rams, though?
You're right. It is the Rams, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not the Packers. It was definitely the Rams. Eric.
Wow.
Let's go. Come on.
Wasn't there one? Who's the guy who was on the Packers? Went to the Browns. I think it was Williams there. Or Tremaine. Tremaine?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway,
if you look it up, the most common name in the NFL is Williams. Got to be the most common last name.
That's fair, but where are we going from here? Oh, it's Tremont Williams, and he's back with Green Bay. Would you look at that?
Would you just look at it? Would you look at that?
We need some comedy here because I just totally messed up and literally found out that the guy I was thinking about is now back on the Packers. So fantastic. It's fantastic news for Packers fans to get Tremont Williams back.
Did he even ever leave the Packers?
Tremaine. I mean, unbelievable. What?
Did he ever leave the Packers?
Yeah, he went to Cleveland, like I just said, and then was on Arizona last season. But anything to say about the Lions? I think the Lions are going to be a mess this year. They're going to regret.
They're going to be better than you think.
No, they're going to regret firing Jim Caldwell, and Matt Patricia is going to be a train wreck.
I don't think so.
He's going to be a train wreck.
I don't think so.
First year. They're going to do terrible.
I think Stafford and Marvin Jones are going to have a big year together.
I'm not going to doubt they're going to have good offense.
Just because,
and I know Patricia's a defensive guy.
I hope to God that Marvin Jones has a big year because they have him.
They brought in a lot of Giants players. They brought in Romeo Okwara and Devin Kennard defensively, but I don't believe in this defense at all. I know it's a guy. I know Ziggy Ansah's still there, but I know Patricia is a defensive-minded guy. I don't believe in this team at all. Defensively, fine. Like Garrett Blunt. I mean, bringing him in that'll help out the offense. But look, I think they're going to be pretty bad. Jim Caldwell did wonders with this team every single year he was coaching this team. They fired him for no reason, in my opinion, and it's going to show in the first year.
No, should have got that job.
You're getting rid of a guy who had a great pedigree, did a great job with the Colts, except for 1 year when they lost his number one quarterback. You fire him to bring in Matt Patricia, who has no head coaching experience and is really behind Bill Belichick for all those times. So, oh shoot, should I just pot it up, or we're going to be behind in spots?
Station.
It's gonna gonna be a mess.
Whatever.
So I just
I caught that though.
Yeah, I mean, that's my bad. I thought we were.
I looked at the clock. I was like, oh crap! I was trying to keep an eye on it too. But anyways, so where were we? Oh, the Lions.
So yeah, I'm not sure I really believe in the Lions. I really like the Vikings. I don't know if I have to say much else about the Vikings. They're still really good defensively for the Vikings, and they have a bunch of weapons offensively. Thielen, Diggs. I mentioned Cook already.
Diggs.
So
sideline. Touchdown.
So is that good enough?
Yeah, let's go.
Is that good enough? Is that good enough on the Vikings?
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap it up in just a little bit and give you every one of our playoff teams. We got to talk about the NFC East. I have, under good authority, that the same team, and this is a true fact, that the same team hasn't won this division, I believe, in the last 10, 11 years. Is that true?
I believe so.
So rules out the Eagles. I don't think the Cowboys or Redskins are going to be very good. So my pick is the New York Giants. Go, Mike.
Yeah, definitely not the Redskins because Alex Smith. It's just, why didn't they just pay Cousins, man? That's a downgrade at quarterback. Cousins to Alex Smith. Come on, man.
To give him credit, they didn't want to pay him, and they went out and got somebody else that was going to be still a top 20 quarterback.
They don't have a run.
Instead of having to sign somebody.
They lost every running back they have.
Including the one they just drafted.
Yeah, Geis is gone for the year. They have their receivers are very questionable. I mean, they got Doxson, and I can't even tell you who else. I can just tell you that they have Doxson.
Jamison Crowder, who had a terrible year last year. Right, he was very, very underwhelming.
After having a very good year the year before.
They brought in Seattle's Paul Richardson, but I agree with you. The offense isn't going to be good enough, and really defensive. I mean, I like Jonathan Allen. He was really good as a rookie when he was on the field. So I think that they have some good weapons defensively, but I agree with you.
And the most overrated cornerback in the NFL, in Josh Norman.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that. Dallas Cowboys, anything for America's team?
No. Dak's a joke. Dak's a joke.
Wide receivers, I kind of feel like they might be better than people hype them out to be because everyone's saying that they're awful. I think they're decent. They're nothing special, but they're right there on average. They're average.
I think they'll be better at wide receiver now that Dez is gone.
That's the thing. Like Alan Hearns has been serviceable for Jacksonville the last couple of seasons.
Well, Terrence Williams is okay.
Cole Beasley makes some pretty decent, some big plays more than people think. Michael Gallup and Tavon Austin, who knows? Like Deontay Thompson. These are all low-level guys, but then all together, put them on one field together where Dak Prescott can run around a little bit. I think that they'd be okay. They'd be serviceable. But the question is always the defense, and I think with the offense not as good, with Zeke being maybe more keyed on a little bit, I think they're not going to be able to manage the game as well as they had been in their good years with Dak 2 years ago.
Yeah. I think the Eagles come back to reality this year.
So who do you have? Well, let's finish it up right here. Let's finish the podcast. We gotta do a little bit of New York Giants talk though first because they're a local team of interest.
Makes a big difference there.
Yeah, give me one read. Exactly. I think that all the pressure is on Saquon Barkley. Not pressure, but you're relying on Saquon Barkley to be a really good back for you.
I don't agree with releasing Davis Webb. I think that was stupid. Okay,
they got practice squad.
They got Walletta. And wait, the Jets signed him
to their practice squad.
I actually like that move.
But I don't think it's a big difference. I think right now, with that being the case, no one else is really giving the kid a shot at anyway. So I think when you're just relying on Eli Manning to be on the team, it's the truth.
Beckham's back.
Right. The offense is going to be great. I don't know about great, but I hope it's great. I really hope it's great, but it should be great. And that's what you need to be good. But the defense, we're not talking about defense that's coming off a good year like they were prior to last year. They're coming off a really bad year last year. So I think a lot of it relies on whether Olivier Vernon can stay on the field, but they can't do worse than they did last year. And I think the offense being better helps out defense no matter what. So I got the Giants in first place. Philly, I have them falling off a little bit because of I don't know what to expect from Nick Foles.
I have a weird feeling that Wentz is not actually healthy.
Well, that's the thing. I have a weird feeling that Nick Foles isn't going to be as good as he was in the playoff run, and therefore they're going to struggle early on.
Yeah, I have a strange suspicion.
And Jeffrey's not healthy? That doesn't help?
Wentz isn't healthy because why else is he not really practicing?
I think the injuries are going to hurt this team a lot. Defensively, we know that they're a really good team, but I have them in second place. Let's quickly go over our wild card predictions. I'm going to go over all my teams. So I had the Giants winning the East, the Vikings winning the North, the Saints winning the South, the Rams winning the West, and my 2 wildcard teams are, of course, Philly and Green Bay. So I still have them making the playoffs. I guess I am technically snubbing. Who am I snubbing the most? I would say I guess I'm probably snubbing Carolina or Atlanta the most. Who do you got?
Rams, obviously. Saints. Packers, Giants. For the division, Eagles, and Vikings. And then the Rams going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I had my championship game being the Rams and the Saints. And then, of course, the Rams playing the Chargers, the LA Bowl, baby. I already mentioned at the top of the podcast with the Rams winning it again. My MVP, yours was Jared Goff. And I know I talked about Aaron Rodgers and necessarily being as good, with the tight end. That might be fine. I do think he'll end up winning MVP.
I can see it.
So, yeah, take it where you want. You can be mad at me for
I'm mad at you anyways. What's the difference?
For not saying he's going to make Jimmy Graham a great tight end. I think he'll be okay. I think it'll be the same Jimmy Graham, just on a different team. And I do believe in Geronimo Allison to be a good number 3 receiver. Anything else to say about any of our previews before the season starts here, Mike?
No, I think that's it. Go Rams.
But you know what, Mike? We're going to be back. And let's put the hashtag out here again. If you listen to other podcasts, what is it? He needed to be here.
Yes.
Mike had the knee injury. He's here. He made it. We're in the middle of a Yankee game right now. We just got it on time.
Might be on a torn ACL too.
We might have to go to break here with the Yankee game, so we should probably sign off right here. But hashtag he needed to be here with knee spelled K-N-E-E-D.
E-D.
E-D. Yeah. So if you spell it right, we'll see it, and we'll shout you out next time on the podcast. Because the next time we're on the podcast, we're gonna do another Sittin Sportside podcast, of course.
Next week?
Hopefully next week, and hopefully we have the debut of a fellow podcaster, so that'll be fun.
If not, he's fired. Right. Just kidding. We love you, Andrew.
All right, so for Mike James, I'm Eric Cameron. Thank you for listening to Sittin Sportside Podcast. We will be here for you next time, and we'll see you then.
Stay classy, Cap Region.